You know what's super attractive? Taking care of yourself. I think the most attractive people, and not in a dating context, just in general, friends, coworkers, random people you see, the most attractive people and the people that I want to be around are the ones who present themselves well, they have confidence, and they clearly care about themselves. Caring about yourself and taking care of yourself is hot. It's attractive. And I think this really starts with your sense of self-worth. You, yes, you are worthy of a wonderful life. You can decide to show up for yourself, to take better care of yourself. You have worth, you're special, you're loved. And even if it's hard to see that at some points, I think that really has to come from a place within yourself. And when you start showing up in a way that says, yes, I am worthy, that gets reflected back to you, and then more synchronicities are going to come into your life that represent that. So hello and welcome back to Mindset Matters. My name is Victoria. Before we continue into today, I have an exciting announcement. I am officially launching my very first coaching program on April 1st, the Mindset Mastery course. This is an 8-week coaching program designed to help you take control of your life by building confidence in your ability to handle life's challenges, think positively and show up more optimistically, and really take intentional action towards building the life that you want to live. If you've been feeling frustrated with how things are going, you've had trouble being optimistic, you find that small frustrations tend to stick with you throughout your day, this program could be just what you need to kind of kickstart a more positive lifestyle and be able to show up as your best self. So if any of that sounds relatable to you, definitely click the link below to go to my website. The full details about this course are now available, so you can learn more. We can book a discovery call so we can just chat, get to know each other, and see if working together would be the right fit. I also invite you to follow me on Instagram. There's a lot happening over there this whole week about the course and about me and kind of my purpose behind why I wanted to start this. So if you want to learn more about me, definitely check out my Instagram. All right, let's get back into it. So first, I want to talk about why you should want to take care of yourself. And it may seem like an obvious thing, like duh, but I really do think a lot of people miss some of these things, and a lot of people aren't taking good care of themselves. And so let's talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about how to actually make this happen. So the first reason you should want to take care of yourself is because taking good care of yourself will give you more confidence. Showing up for yourself and saying, like, I can take good care of myself is going to make you feel more independent. And independence, feeling like you can do things on your own, is going to make you feel more confident, right? And I think confidence really stems from within. If you take care of yourself, if you're building trust within yourself, right? A lot of people don't actually trust themselves because they say they want to do something and then they don't follow through. And that actually deters the trust between you and yourself. So if you can start showing up for yourself, it means, hey, you say you want to do something and you follow through. Even if it's something tiny, that is building trust. And that trust over time makes you feel more confident because you're confident that you have the ability to show up for yourself. The second reason you should want to take good care of yourself is because it makes you more attractive to others. And again, this isn't necessarily in a dating context, but people are more attractive when they look like they take good care of themselves. Attractive people to me are those who, have good body language, good posture. They look like they are proud of themselves. They present themselves well. They maybe are relatively in good shape, or look like they at least are active in some way, right? There's so many different ways to take care of yourself, and we're going to get into that later. But even something like how you dress, right? Obviously, you're going to have a different style, and I'm not saying you need to dress a certain way. But if you decide like, this is how I want to present myself, and you have this kind of schema in your head of what that looks like to you, then you can actually start thinking, well, okay, like how am I going to show up in that way? So for example, I am almost 29. I'm about to be 29 in a few weeks. And 29 is this age, like late 20s, like I don't want to still be dressing like I'm in university. You know, I want to dress a little more elevated, but at the same time, I'm young enough that I don't want to feel like I'm dressing overly conservatively. So I've been in this discovery phase of like trying to figure out what that means to me, because I don't want to present myself where I'm always wearing, again, things that I would probably wear when I was in my early 20s. And that's because that's not how I want to present myself to the world. So having that schema in my head helps me actually put together the outfits that I feel confident in, right? Because dressing in a way that makes you feel comfortable is going to also allow you to feel confident. If I wore something that I would wear in my early 20s, it's not going to make me feel confident like it did back then. It's going to make me feel out of place, right? So that's also a part of taking care of yourself, is again how you want to present yourself to the world. And again, there's no right or wrong. It's all about you, your own style. But if you're saying like, oh, I want people to see me, or I want to be this kind of more preppy person, like you want to dress a little preppy, maybe a little conservative. I'm thinking like Gossip Girl, like Blair, you know, if you have that schema in your head, okay. But then if your nails are like super long and glittery and you wear really, really heavy makeup, that's not matching up with the schema of how you want to present yourself. So again, you can have long nails and heavy makeup if you like that. But if it's matching what you want to present to the world, I think that's what's going to give you confidence. Because again, there's this like synchronicity between the two. I hope this is making sense. Taking care of yourself also shows you have self-worth. And again, self-worth really stems from within yourself. And it starts with fixing your mindset around what you deserve in life. I think a lot of people get stuck in these cycles of thinking that they don't actually deserve healthy relationships. They don't actually deserve love. They don't actually deserve to make the amount of money that they want to make. And everything starts with how you think about the world and how you show up. And building self-awareness like this is a really, really big part of the Mindset Mastery course. So it's us working together to recognize your current mindset patterns and me guiding you to actually make changes that are going to help you show up better in the world and take better care of yourself. I would also argue that when you take good care of yourself, you are more likely to be able to take care of others. And this is a great quality to have, right? It's like you can show up and say, oh, I have filled my own cup, so now I can help fill yours. Right? We always hear, I think I used this same example a couple weeks ago, but when you're on an airplane, if the oxygen masks fall, you're supposed to put your own oxygen mask on first before you help others. And this is all part of taking care of yourself. You need to be able to fill your own cup before you can fill the cup of others. And if you're wearing yourself thin, but you're trying to do everything for everyone else, again, you're not going to feel happy, you're not going to feel confident, and you're not going to be building trust within yourself of like, oh, I can take care of myself, or I'm worth taking care of myself. Because if you're only taking care of other people, subconsciously you're telling yourself that you don't deserve to also be taken care of like that. So it needs to start with you, and you might have other people in your life that help take care of you, and I think that's wonderful. You don't always need to do everything alone, but your main source of care should be for yourself. You shouldn't be fully relying on other people in order to feel cared for. So I want to get into the 7 dimensions of wellness, and this is where I like to go and reflect on when I think of taking care of myself. So there's different versions of this. Some things I've seen online are like 14 dimensions of wellness, or 10, or 6, but I have gone on the tried and true 7 dimensions of wellness. So I want to go over each of them and kind of share my thoughts on how you may take care of yourself in terms of these dimensions. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you some details on how I would actually go about setting my intentions around self-care using these dimensions. So the first dimension of wellness is physical wellness. So this is how you take care of your body. Are you eating well? Are you exercising? overall, are you getting your medical checkups? So anything that has to do with your physical health. Now, I love physical health. Physical wellness is probably the easiest one for me to stick to because I love exercise and I love sports, and I know that not everyone does. So something I would say with physical wellness, you don't need to change your life overnight. This can go for all of these, but especially with this one, I feel like so many people have this all or nothing mindset when it comes to going to the gym. January hits, okay, new year, new me, I'm going to go to the gym. Then they try to do these like 3-hour workouts or do these crazy things, and you burn out because that's actually not taking care of yourself. So when you think of any dimension of wellness, and especially physical, I think start small. Start going for walks. I have been doing a lot of incline walking now that my knee's a bit stronger. If you don't know me, I had knee surgery a few months ago. And so physical wellness has kind of been on the back burner for me because in a way, I can't do a lot of the things that I normally would do. Incline walking, who knew you could get so sweaty from walking? Challenge yourself to just start walking more, moving your body every day, eating better, buying better groceries. Like I don't buy a lot of junk food to keep in the house because personally, if I buy it, I can't stop eating it. And I know this about myself. So it's more if I need a treat, I go out and get it, but I don't keep boxes of cookies because the self-control goes out the window. And that's me being self-aware and realizing like, okay, I need to keep it out of the house. Okay, let's move on. Number 2 is your emotional wellness. And this has to do with your feelings of satisfaction with life. Are you enjoying life? Do you feel like there is space for you? Do you feel like you belong? And again, are you taking care of yourself emotionally? Maybe you are going to therapy. Maybe you're joining the Mindset Mastery course, coaching program to help you with your mindset. Maybe you are creating space to journal how you feel about different things that happen in your day. Whatever that is, it's important to show up for yourself and your emotional wellness. The next dimension of wellness I want to talk about is occupational wellness. So this has to do with your satisfaction and purpose related to your work experience. Are you using your gifts and things you enjoy to gain purpose and enrichment out of life? So not everyone is going to be so in love with their job. And I understand that that's not realistic for everyone where they are at this moment. But do you genuinely enjoy your job? Can you have satisfaction from your work life? Do you have a good work-life balance? So really thinking of, how can I show up for myself and make my work experience better if it's not something that I'm super overly excited about? And maybe you do love your job and that's great, but still, how can I make sure that I feel like I have a sense of purpose in what I do? The next dimension of wellness is intellectual, and this has to do with being creative. Are you doing stimulating mental activities? Are you learning? Are you improving skills? And this could be in so many areas. What do you love? What do you love learning about? And are you fostering that? Are you creating space to actually learn those things? Then we have spiritual wellness, which really includes your guiding beliefs or values that help give you a sense of direction in your life. And it's also your willingness to seek meaning and purpose in life. So do you believe in a higher power? Do you pray? Do you believe maybe in God, the universe, source, any sort of higher power that kind of connects you to this higher purpose outside of yourself? And this is something that I've been diving super deep into, and I am a spiritual person, and I think there's so much abundance and there's so much magic in the world if you really learn how to trust and believe in the things you can't see. And again, that can look different for so many different people, but I do think it gives you a sense of purpose to have a belief in something outside of yourself. Number 6, we have social wellness, and this is your ability to interact in your community, cultivate healthy relationships. Do you feel like you contribute in some way in your friend group, in your community? Can you accurately communicate your thoughts and your feelings to your friends or to your social circle? All of these things are ways of taking care of yourself. right? In your relationships, if you let people walk all over you all of the time, that's not taking care of yourself. If people are constantly overstepping your boundaries, or you haven't made any boundaries clear for whatever reason, that again is not going to serve you, and that's not taking care of yourself. And lastly, we have environmental wellness. So this is really how your environment positively affects your wellness. So are you incorporating nature? Do you go for walks? Do you get outside? Do you have a sense of peace in where you are? Do you enjoy your living space? And I think what's important to mention is with all of these dimensions and with taking care of yourself, I think I mentioned this when I talked first about physical wellness, but you don't have to just do all 7 at once. And it's not like, hey, I need to completely change my life overnight and I need to take better care of myself by doing all of these things. It's going to be overwhelming, and you're not going to be mentally taking care of yourself if you're trying to do too much. You're going to burn yourself out. So I do want to get into how I actually use these dimensions of wellness. And again, this is something that we talk deeper in the Mindset Mastery course, the 8-week program. We will look at setting intentions and how you can actually do that in more depth. But I will mention what I like to do when I set my intentions is it's generally, I think of like either a quarter of the year, then I go into a month and a week, and then even daily. So you can do this on a broad spectrum of ways. I personally use all 4 because I think it helps you get like bigger picture to smaller to slightly smaller to like, what can I do today that's going to take care of myself and help me move forward? So when setting intentions, I first like to focus on like 2 to 3 dimensions of wellness at a time. So when I was explaining them, maybe something came up for you and you thought, I don't really foster my intellectual wellness. I don't really try to learn new things. I haven't really like made time for practicing that new language I wanted to learn, or whatever it looks like. But maybe you thought, I love my job right now. Occupational wellness is like where I'm strongest in right now. So reflect on that. Like, what is going well for you right now, and what dimensions are maybe lacking? And the ones that are lacking, I would say that's where you might want to start putting more energy into and saying, okay, this is what I want to focus on for the next couple of months. So for me, again, I mentioned physical wellness is pretty easy for me because I love exercise, and it's something that helps my mental and physical wellness. So that is easy. It's not hard for me to go to the gym or to be motivated to do so. But sometimes I feel like my social wellness gets left behind a little bit. Sometimes I get really busy and I forget to reach out to people or make plans. So when that happens, I'll say, okay, this is the time where I need to reach out to a friend, or this is probably a good time to even call my mom. I mean, I call my mom actually pretty regularly, so that's fine. But just to give you an example of where you might think, something is lacking or not. So think about those things, and then you want to start thinking about, okay, well, how am I actually going to be able to implement this? And again, I want to stress starting small. Pick like 1 or 2 things you want to foster and do, and start incorporating that into your life. So lastly, I just want to hit home that you are worthy of living the life you want to live, of being able to show up positively, to be optimistic, to seek and feel joy out of living this life. And there's so many ways that you can bring more joy into your life, and it really stems from the way you show up, the way you think about the world, the way you speak to yourself and others, and the way you're setting these intentions and taking action. So if you're struggling to take care of yourself and you're still feeling like you need more guidance, I would love, love, love to work with you. So check out the Mindset Mastery course. Again, this is the 8-week program, but I do have another way that you can work with me through what I call the Awakening Call, which is a 60-minute one-on-one call. So we have options, but if you're interested in working with me at all to help, again, shift your mindset, start showing up more positively, and build habits that you can stick to, I would love to work with you. So check out the links below. We can chat, we could book a little discovery call, and just talk about if working together would be a right fit. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Know that you're worthy. Know that you can take care of yourself. And I challenge you to do one thing today that's going to foster at least one of these dimensions of wellness. I love you. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you soon.